Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Urawaza英語. My name is BJ Fox and I'm here in Tokyo Comedy Bar with...
皆さんこんにちは、石井てるみです。ポッドキャスト裏技英語、今週も始めていきたいと思います。そして、今回はスペシャルエピソードです。なぜなら私たちは今渋谷にあります東京コメディバーで公開収録をやっています。イエーイ。 Wow, amazing. Yeah, 嬉しいですね。
And today's going to be a special episode too, Terumi, because it's inspired... I went to the UK recently.
ね、弟さんにお子さんが生まれて、
Yes.
ね、そうだよね。弟さん家族に会いにイギリスに帰ってましたね。
And when I was there, I was inspired by some food I saw.
そこで何か食べ物を見つけましたと。
Yeah, I thought
And you were inspired by food.
I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do an episode of Urawaza Eigo inspired by British food.
Not my cup of tea ですか?
No.
Not my cup of tea ですか?
It's not. That's a great phrase. Not my cup of tea is a good phrase, a good British phrase, but it's not that phrase.
Okay.
What others?
食べ物が出てくる裏技っぽいフレーズ。Full of beans.
Oh.
Full of beans.
Mr.
桜井太斗さんってwix.com の日本代表、日本マネージャーをされている桜井さん言ってましたよね。Beans, full of beans. やる気満々です。We're full of beans.
Well remembered. And by the way, that phrase comes from baked beans.
へー。
We're not talking about green beans. It's baked beans.
Baked?
Like in tomato sauce, canned beans and tomato sauce. You put it on toast.
はははは。じゃあちょっとなんかもうペースト状のってこと？なんかさ。
No, it's not like paste. It's like
なんか
it's like beans in a tomato sauce.
へー。
What would it be like in any Japanese food? Is it like any Japanese food? You know what it is.
ぜんざい。
No, we have it in New Zealand too.
You have it in New Zealand too.
It's like a can.
It's like a canned beans with tomato sauce.
With runny sauce.
Like in a kind of tomato soup.
あれ？トマトスープか。なんかタコスとかにかけるよう
No.
なのじゃない。
It's like those beans. It's like those beans with tomato sauce, and you put it on toast. And the idea is it's full of energy, full of protein. If you have it in the morning, you'll have a good day because you've got lots of energy. You are full of beans.
なんかビーンズ、full of beans って聞くと私の頭ではなんかほら昔ながらの日本の枕ってなんか豆がいっぱい詰まってるのあるじゃないですか。
Oh yeah,
なんかパンパンにこう枕のさカバーが弾けるぐらい中にお豆さんが入ってるみたいな、そんなイメージだ。だから乾いた豆のイメージなんだけど。
No.
Okay. Baked beans なのね。
It means you had a
そっか
good
そっか。
breakfast.
なるほど。もう栄養がたっぷりで元気だよと。そんなイメージですね。
Yeah, but it's not that phrase. It's not that phrase.
それでもない。ちなみにそのフレーズは Sorry, that phrase is from the UK.
That is from the UK. I would argue that I would never use it.
言わないの？
I personally wouldn't use it.
でも It's not my cup of tea は使うでしょ。
I would use not my cup of
そうだね。
tea.
結局なんか普段使う使わないまで把握しとかなきゃいけないから。
Well, but that's also me. I think full of beans might be one generation older.
そうなん。ちょっと昔ながらの表現ってことね。はいはいはい。
But today's phrase is a more popular, younger phrase, let's say, common phrase, I would say.
今でも普通に使うフレーズですね。
Yeah.
はい。
Like to the extent I was on a business trip last week and I heard the phrase.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you?
I went to Hong Kong.
そう、BJ は先週ちょっと香港に行ってまして、お仕事で。
Yeah.
で、そこでも普通に耳にした。
Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, the food is, well, I'll ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the food Marmite? So tell me,
はい。
Marmite.
Marmite. マーマイト。はい。
Did you know it before this episode?
No, I didn't know it.
You'd never have it.
食べたこともないし聞いたこともどんなものかもう見当もつきませんでした。
I'll ask the audience again. Who here? We've got maybe 20 people here. How many people have heard of Marmite in the room? 1, 2, 3, 4.
知ってたよという方は結構いらっしゃる。5人ぐらいかな。はい。
For those who don't know Marmite, it's a popular salty spread.
しょっぱい塗り物ね。
Yeah. And it's made from the byproducts. Do you understand
はいはいはい、
byproducts?
副産物みたいなね。製造過程でできる何かの沈殿物みたいなものね。
From when you make beer.
ビール酵母の沈殿物。
Yeah.
ビールの 醸造過程でできる、ビールのいわば酒粕みたいなもの。
Yeah, and it's like a really thick black butter.
Thick black butter. ほう。見た目は真っ黒な
Yeah.
バターのようなもの。
Really thick, and you spread it on toast. You spread it on muffins. When I say muffin, I don't mean like a Starbucks muffin. I mean like a plain savory
そう
muffin.
ね。はいはい。もうあんな味のついてるマフィンじゃなくてってことね。はいはいはい。
And you eat it for breakfast or
はい。
after the pub.
After the pub。お酒飲んだ後に
Yeah, you go home and you have some cheese and Marmite
チーズとマーマイト
on toast.
をトーストに
Yeah.
の上に乗っけて食べるんだ。thick ってことは味が濃いってこと？
It's quite hard. Like, you know how
あ、
butter's...
硬いんだ。
Yeah,
はあはあはあはあはあ。べっとりしてるの。
yeah.
なんかテクスチャーも気になりますね。へえ。
You can see a picture. That's the color of Marmite.
へえ。あ、広げるとそういうなんかちょっと茶色いような。はは。
But you really don't need much.
Yeah, it's very strong flavor.
はいはいはい。味は濃いので結構広げる、薄く広げるのね。
Yeah, and it's a very interesting flavor, Terumi, because it's a flavor that is very polarizing.
polarizing というのはあれですね。パカーンと2つに分かれると。
Yeah,
polarizing 意見だとか評価が真っ二つに分かれる。
yeah,
好き嫌いが分かれる
yeah.
ですね。
Anything in Japan like that? What's polarizing in Japan? Is natto like that?
納豆は好き嫌いが分かれる典型的なものなんじゃないですか。だからみんなが大好きな抹茶キットカットとは違って、
Yeah.
納豆とか
So like people who like it really like
really
it,
like it.
but some people can't even stand the smell of Marmite.
それ癖のあるものですね。癖のあるっていう言い方がいいかもしれないですね。パクチーとかもそうじゃないですか。
Oh, I think pakuchi is a great example.
はい。
Pakuchi in English is...
コリアンダーね。
No, it depends. In England, it's coriander, and in the US, it's cilantro. What is it, Ruben? Say it again.
Well, I say coriander, but Americans would say cilantro.
Cilantro.
何？
Cilantro.
サラントロ？
Yeah.
はあ、初めて知った。
Yeah, I learned that word when I came to Japan, actually. I think I saw it on a menu once.
へえ、日本のメニューにはサラントロ
Yeah.
が。
But we would say, in England, we say, or in the UK, we say coriander.
コリアンダーね。
I think that's another good example. People who like it, but some people just can't stand coriander.
ちょっと匂いがするだけでも無理っていう方もたまにいますよね。
And it's so polarizing. Marmite is so polarizing that the advertising slogan for Marmite is very honest.
はいはいはい。
It says, you'll either love it or hate it.
わあ、面白いスローガン。
Love it. Oh, so here's a poster. Love it or hate it.
Love it or hate it. もうあなたは虜になるか、病みつきになるか、それとも大嫌いになるか、どっちかですよと。There's nothing in the middle.
Nothing in the middle. Nothing in the middle. Oh, I should say. So Marmite came in during the war, the First World War, where they discovered it's actually very nutritious. It's got lots of vitamins in it. So when there was, in the First World War, when there was no food, or the British soldiers were fighting in France, there was no food. It was used as almost like medicine.
へえ。
So they didn't have. So it was being sent out to the front lines, and they would be eating this to keep healthy. And then when they came back, it became a common food.
はあ、戦時中に生まれた、栄養もあるしビタミンも取れるしっていうことで最前線で戦ってる人のためのもう半分栄養食みたいな薬のような、そんな感じで生まれたんだ。
But the impact is so great on British culture that now when something or someone is very polarizing,
はいはいはい。
we use Marmite as an adjective.
わお。世論を真っ二つにするようななんか癖のあるものだったり人だったり。そういった人や物のことをマーマイトと。
That person is a little bit Marmite.
That person is a little bit of Marmite. はは、あの人ちょっとマーマイトだよねと。
Which is how I heard it last week.
おう、実際に現場で聞いた。
Yeah, we were having a business meeting, and before the business meeting, there was a little bit of preparation, meeting a client, and I guess my boss said, "Yeah, this guy's a good guy, a little bit Marmite."
何人の方がその言葉を使ってた？
It was actually a French guy. That's why I was so taken aback. I was like, wow, a French person speaking English used the word Marmite about a Chinese person. Sorry, I shouldn't say China, Hong Kong, I think the person was, yeah.
そうか、いろいろね、そうか、フランスの方が
Yeah.
香港の人に向かって That person is a nice guy だけど a little bit of Marmite.
And the reason he was a little bit Marmite, I realized straight away, is that he kept boasting.
ああ、自慢が止まらない人
Yeah,
ね。
so he's a really nice guy, but he was like, oh yeah, so I was just, you know, he actually said, I've just been over to see, when he said I was English, he was like, oh, I went over last weekend to see Manchester United play for one day. And I was like, what? Like, so he went all the way from Hong Kong to the UK just for one day to see a football match.
お金持ちですね。
Yeah, and so I think that's what he was constantly saying. I've got money. I've got money. I've got money. So he's like a really nice guy. But he kept, I was like, okay, I can see why this person is considered Marmite.
日本語で言うとなんか癖があるとか言いますかね。ちょっとあの人癖あるんだよねって、いい人なんだけどみたいな。ちょっと一癖あるんだよねみ
Well,
たい
okay,
な。
here's an example.
Hi.
Fua-chan.
フワちゃん。はい。
Is she Marmite? Like, I realized she's really popular. But when
すごく人気者ですけど、ママイトかもしれないですね。私は
I know
ね、
you know
後輩
her.
なんであれですけど。
And I know her from, like, she performed here. Very
Yeah,
nice
yeah, yeah.
person.
Mhm.
But when I said she was performing at Tokyo Comedy Bar, some people were like, Fua-chan.
あ、そう。
Yeah.
へえ。でやっぱ突き抜けてる人はだからね、なんか大好きな人も多分すごい熱狂的に好きな人もいるけども、そうじゃないっていう人も生まれちゃうんでしょうけどね。分かりやすいところで言うと江頭さんとかそうなんじゃないですかね。
Who?
江頭2時50分さ
I
ん。
don't know.
I think you know
I
him.
know him.
江頭ちゃん。そうだから私は江頭さんのような芸人になりたいって芸人になった時言ってた。要するにthere's no like he's not replaceable.
Okay.
There's no one like him. だからもう大好きな人は本当に好きだし、なんかまあそういう芸風は好かんっていう人もいると思う。
I don't know him. Sorry.
Really?
I don't know, no.
これはね、must know だよ BJ。
Okay.
いや、私は江頭さんが一番クールだと思うもん。
Okay, I'll check him out.
確か海外でなんか脱いで出禁になったかなりましたよね。なんかね。ね
I have no idea how anyone finds him funny. He's so stupid.
実況の YouTube 動画があるんだ。
So this is a video. The guy just said, "I don't know how anyone can like this guy. He is so stupid."
Stupid. Yeah.
ああ、そんな風に言われてるのね。
Marmite.
Well, I feel maybe
Marmite だ。
someone
Such
who
a Marmite.
I know, and we performed with him last week. Do you know Munamoto Daisuke?
ウーマンラッシュアワーの村本大輔さんね。
Like when he performs comedy, the place is packed out with people who love him and laugh at everything he says. But then you look online and everyone hates him. You know, he's kind of split down the middle. He gets a lot of like,
controversial な感じだとそうなるのかな。
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
ね。
he's just a little bit Marmite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but another way, like everyone is interested in him.
Yeah.
ね。
Oh, well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
At one point is how sometimes being a little bit Marmite is a good thing. Can we look at this? This was an advert for Marmite in the UK about 10 years ago. So this is to announce the first time they had a squeezy bottle of Marmite.
はいはい。チューブタイプが出てきたの？
Yeah.
おう
So squeezy. And they got artists to draw Marmite people.
これはひょっとしてミスター・ビーンさんですか？
Mr. Bean. Some people love Mr. Bean. 90% of people in the UK hate Mr. Bean.
そうなの？
Yeah.
日本だったらみんな好きですよね。なんかあんまマーマイトなイメージじゃない
He's
け
a
ど。
real Marmite person.
Really? How come?
Because he's not funny in any way.
そう。なんか日本では結構センセーションなぐらい人気者だったイメージがある。
Yeah. And even now, he's really famous in China.
うんうんうん。
I like the actor. I like the actor.
Yeah?
Because he's a comedian. But the character, Mr. Bean, some
Yeah.
people love it.
Yeah.
But most people don't understand why it's popular. So it's
あ、
very...
そう。
very-
だからあれじゃない。言葉がなくても面白さが伝わるから、まあ
Yeah.
世界では人気なんだろうけどね。まあでも本国の人だったら、なんであの人がってなっちゃうのか
Yeah.
な。
So other images in this advertising campaign were hairy chests. Oh, George Bush. George Bush.
いや、政治家はわかるけどね。うんうんうん。
France.
すごい喧嘩売ってんじゃん。
Have we got any others, Ruben?
今度は何？
This is when you wear sandals and you wear socks at the same time. It's considered Marmite. Some people do it, but some people think
私たまにやってるわ。
Yeah.
はい。タイツ履いて、
it's...
はい、サンダル履いてって。
Another famous one was, we didn't put it in, but Jose Mourinho. Do you know Jose Mourinho? Anyone? Football fans?
サッカー選手？
Kantoku.
監督なんだ。
Yeah. Like if he's your Kantoku, you love him, but everyone else hates him. but by the way, just to be clear, it's not just people. It can be sandals and socks. It can be films.
食べ物もね。
Yeah, food as
映画も
well.
ね。
Yeah, you know, certain films where they've got, for some reason, they're very popular. They've got a real core fan group,
はい。
but most people don't like it. That would be a Marmite film.
君たちはどう生きるかとか。
What's
まあまあじゃないですか、あのフィルム。
what's 君たちはどう生きるのか?
君たちはどう生きるかっていうジブリの最新作があったんだけれども。
Okay, good example.
うん
Yeah,
うんう
yeah.
ん。
Where
嫌いとかじゃないけど、私はよくわからなかったんだよね。だけどもすごい評価は高いというかね。
yeah.
まあマイトなんじゃないかなと思いますけどね。
Terumi, full disclosure, this episode is sponsored by NordVPN.
NordVPN?
Terumi, VPN,
はい。
do you know what this is?
VPN。まあ明らかにアクロニムですか？
It is an acronym and it stands for Virtual Private Network.
仮想プライベートネットワークのことですね。
And it's a form of security for your data when you're browsing the internet.
はい、インターネットを見ているときに情報が漏れないように守ってくれる。
Yeah, like it's 2023.
Yeah.
We all work in cafes, we use public Wi-Fi, and there's always a danger that your personal data, including credit card details, might get stolen.
皆さんいろんなところでお仕事されると思いますけれども、ね、このネットワークは安全じゃないかもしれませんよ。あなたの個人情報が取られちゃうかもしれませんよみたいなね、ああいう注意がパソコンの画面に出てきますよね。ああいう時ちょっと心配ですよね。クレジットカードのデータが盗まれちゃうんじゃないかとかね。
But with NordVPN, they are safe with just one click.
NordVPN があればあなたのパソコンは安全です。しかもたったのワンクリックで。
So I've been using NordVPN. Tell me.
BJ はすでにもう NordVPN のユーザーなんですね。
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's got some urawaza features too.
どういうことですか？裏技フィーチャー？
Well, because your data can't be tracked, some online shopping,
Yep.
specifically flight booking or hotel booking,
はい。
becomes a little bit cheaper.
データがトラックされないもんだからオンラインショッピング、例えば宿とか航空券のチケットがちょっと安くなる。
Yeah,
おう。
because they're not tracking what you're looking at.
今までどこのサイトを見てきたかというのがバレてないからってこと？
Yeah.
わお。じゃああれか、あなた今このサイト見てたでしょとかってことがトラックされないわけね。バレないわけですね。
Yeah, and probably my favorite feature is because with the VPN you can change the location of your IP address,
IP アドレスのロケーションを変えることができるんですよね。
which means you can watch the BBC.
いやー、そう、海外の番組を見ることもできるわけです。
Yeah, which I guess is great for our overseas listeners as well, who maybe want to watch some Japanese TV.
はい、ポッドキャスト裏技英語を海外から聞いてくださっているリスナーさんにはぴったりですね。日本のコンテンツも楽しむことができます。
Yeah.
しかもそれだけではないんです。なんとアプリやカスタマーサポートが日本語に対応しています。なんと6台ものデバイスで接続が可能。30日間の全額返金保証もありますので、どなたでも安心して始められますよ。
So, Terumi, how can our listeners access NordVPN?
今回特別に当番組のリスナーさん限定でお得な割引クーポンを発行してもらいました。
And that coupon is urawaza in English, URAWAZA.
クーポンコードはアルファベットで裏技 URAWAZA です。
And also, you can get all this information and click a direct link in the, what do you call, Gayoran? The information part of the podcast.
はい、ポッドキャストの概要欄にあるリンクからアクセスしてください。2年プランが大幅割引、さらに4ヶ月分延長もついてきます。30日間全額返金保証もついていますので、この機会にぜひお試しください。
Thank you very much, NordVPN, for the sponsorship. Listeners, give it a go.
NordVPN どうもありがとうございます。リスナーの皆さん、この機会にぜひお試しください。
So, everyone, we have got some live Marmite in the house. Terumi, how would you describe?
Okay.
Can we get the smell first?
何この匂い
This is a live Marmite testing.
しょっぱいんだけれども、何これ嗅いだことない匂いだよ。
Okay. So, Terumi,
ああ、でも酒粕っぽいっちゃ酒粕なのかな。
could I ask you
はいはい。
to taste the Marmite and could you do it as if you're on Japanese TV?
あ、日本のテレビでの食レポのようにやると。はい、ではトーストされたパンの上にマーマイトが塗られてますけれども、あ、これなんかスティッキー、なんか糸引いてますよ。
Yeah.
なんかジャムのようにも見えますけど、これ色は何これ、これチョコレートのような。でもチョコレートよりもね、なんかベタベタした見た目ですね。はい。でブラウンだ。匂いを嗅いでみます。Oh, I should say 香り instead of 匂い when you're on Japanese TV.
Okay.
香りを嗅ぎます。あー、しょっぱいけど。
I'm going to join you as well.
わ、これは嗅いだことのない。でも何かこう発酵食品って感じ。いただきます。うわ、薄く塗られてるけど、うわ、濃いですね。なんか海産物のエキスをギュッと、なんか海のもののような昆布のエキスをギュッとしたような、そんなテイストにも思えますよ、私は。うわー、これかなり広げていただくものですね。
Do you hate it or love it? This is Ishi Terumi who can't give a negative opinion. Finally, we've got a negative opinion from Terumi.
ちょっとヘイトかもしれない。
Hate. Okay. Now we're going to pass it over to our guests. We'll get a few people. Yuki, what did you think of Marmite? Was it your first time?
Yeah, it's my first time to try this one, and I really love it.
You love it?
You love
Yay!
it!
How would you describe the flavor?
It's a bit salty than I expected.
Yeah.
But it's very matches with the bread.
あー、パンと合います。
And I'm sure that it goes well with the wine or
あー、お酒、
Yes.
そうだ、お酒と合うね。
Yeah.
そう、しょっぱいからね。
Thank
だ
you
から日本人が塩辛とか食べたくなるみたいなね。
True, yeah. It feels. That's why I said after.
あー、
It's like a
after
drinks.
drinks
Yeah.
ね。おつまみにいいかもしれない。
Akiko, first time eating Marmite?
Yeah.
What did you think? Are you
Love or hate?
love or hate? Love or hate?
Rather hate it.
Hate. Okay.
えー
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't think it goes well with the bread.
Okay.
Maybe good with the cheese.
Good with cheese.
Yeah.
It is.
あ
Yeah.
ー、チーズと合いそう。
Yeah.
うん
But it's more like なんか濃い醤油みたいな感じ。
あー、確かに。
すごい楽しかったですが。
Oh.
Actually, when we used to cook pasta, instead of putting salt, we
Yeah.
would put Marmite in the water.
あー、確かにお塩の代わりにはなりそうですね。味付けとしてね。塩気だこれは。でもこれラブってことはこう自分で買って一人で食べるぐらいラブってこと？
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's actually quite a breakfast food. Quite a
あ、
breakfast
そうな
food.
んだ。
Yeah.
へえ。まあ体にねニュートリシャスなんだもんね。
Okay, so overall though, we've got like say 20 people here. How many people liked Marmite? Go. Okay, that's about 6 people. 7.
7、
How many people
12。
hated Marmite? Not really hate.
半々だな。
Well, light hate.
Light hate, light hate.
うんうん、そうそう。ヘイトがやっぱ言葉が強いから手を挙げにくいよ。私も別にヘイトなわけじゃないからね。あ、こういうこと言うからいけないんだけど、うん。だから自分で好んで買って食べるほどではないかな。もう一個食べてみようかな。で、これなんかめっちゃべっちょり塗ってあるんだよな、これ。
Okay. And that was the taste testing. Thank you very much to Isaac, who went and bought it at...
Thank you, Isaac! Isaac, thank you. ありがとうございます。
So the phrase we want to learn today is XYZ is a little bit Marmite.
He or she is a little bit of Marmite.
A little bit Marmite.
Little bit Marmite ね。Little bit. これは何？リトルビットは入れた方がいいの？
Is it-
XYZ is Marmite だと違う。ちょっと座りが良くない。
Too short.
Too
It's
short?
just too short. That's all it is. It's not rude or anything. It's just usually you put a little bit Marmite.
A little. He's a little bit Marmite.
Marmite, yeah.
じゃああんま深い意味はないのね、そこには。はいはいはい。
And we would use this phrase for anyone or anything that is polarizing. typically something that has a lot of fans, but when people don't like it, they really, really hate it.
何か好き嫌いが真っ二つに分かれるものや人、まあ、熱烈なファンはいる一方でものすごく嫌ってる人もいるっていうようなものや人ですね。
I think we all have one friend. Maybe do you have this friend that you really like, but you would never ever invite to a party? Does everyone have that one friend that you're like, he's my friend, but I don't?
あいつはだからすごい親友だけどみんながいるところには呼ばないみたいな。
Yeah, like I like going out drinking with him, but I'll never introduce him to my wife.
はあ。
We all have a Richard. I've got a friend called Richard.
リチャードっていうの。
Yeah, and he will just.
それ BJ の友達がリチャードっていうだけだよね。
He was an ALT when I was in Hamamatsu, same friend. And he's a really good guy. He's a really successful lawyer, but he will always say a dirty joke. That's way too far.
言っちゃうんだ。下ネタを BJ の奥さんや友達の前で。
Yeah, and I'm like, Richard,
言わないでくれよ。
no.
勘弁してくれよ。あ、それはね、he can't control that.
I think he does it deliberately.
わざとやっちゃう
I
の
think
ね。
he wants to test people whether or not they can come with him.
どこまでいけるかどうか、あえて言っちゃうみたいな。私もちょっとその気があるな。あえて言っちゃうみたいな。そうそう。
And also, I think in the corporate world, you hear it a lot as well.
ほう。会社でもこの言葉をよく聞く。Like you heard from a French colleague.
Yeah, because often in the corporate world, people have got different management styles. And you're used to working with someone who does it in this way. And then when it's different, it's sometimes hard to take.
はい。会社だといろいろなマネジメントスタイルの人がいますしね、なんか会社によっては癖のあるマネージャーとかいるじゃないですか。ね、で A さんに慣れてて今度 B さんのスタイルに合わせるとか大変だったりしますよね。で私が働いてた外資系コンサルティング会社とかってやっぱりもう変でしたもん。変で癖のある人しかやっぱ残らないというか、Everyone is a Marmite.
Everyone's got a little bit of Marmite.
No,
Yeah.
big Marmite.
Big Marmite.
Marmite そう。やっぱああいう外資系コンサルティング会社みたいなところだとやっぱ一癖も二癖もあって尖ってないとやっぱなんかスタンドアウトできないというかね。
I think that's true.
ね、そうよね。
Like certainly, like the bosses I always like. Typically, the bosses I like, I actually don't like. I'm like, oh God, that guy always having a go at me, or that person always pushing me too much. But in the end, I realize I succeed better in that environment. So I kind of, so I've worked with a lot of Marmite bosses, or I, in the end, follow them. But I know my colleagues don't like what they do.
はあ、だから最初は癖があって嫌だな、合わないなと思ったけど一生懸命しがみついてるうちになんか BJ も成長してるしうまいことやってるみたいなってことなんだね。
Yeah. Often, I always think if you think around you there's no one who's Marmite, it probably means you're Marmite. you're the problem.
マーマイトいないなって思った時は自分がマーマイト。さっきの私みたいじゃん、そのダーティージョーク言う人いないなと思ったから私じゃんって。テルミは別にいいやつだけどなんかたまに下ネタ言うから呼ぶのやめとこうとか思われてるかもしれないですね、私もね。
Ruben, am I Marmite?
もう he says yes. Yeah.
Well,
I
no,
think I am.
as a boss, potentially, or not a boss, but someone who books shows, someone who tells comedians if they can perform or not. I think you have to be Marmite.
You have to be Marmite. Sometimes as a boss, you have to be Marmite. Yeah, if you're making decisions, you have to understand not everyone's going to like it. So sometimes you have to say, nope, I'm not going to do that. Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening. We're currently in Tokyo Comedy Bar doing Urawaza Eigo Live and networking. And we want to take this opportunity to invite you to our next one as well, which will be our Bornenkai and Post Mortem.
はい、なんとポッドキャスト裏技英語の忘年会ライブ忘年会 &2023 ポストモータム開催決定しました。イエーイヘイヘイ。12月9日土曜日午後2時から4時まで、今ね渋谷にあります東京コメディバーで公開収録をしていますけれどもね、同じ場所ではい盛大に行いたいと思います。
and it will be a good opportunity to look back at all we achieved, you achieved, and perhaps didn't achieve in 2023.
はい、2023年の頭に立てた新年の抱負、皆さんなんか新年の誓いしましたか？はい、それを達成できたか、はたまたできなかったか、どうなのかということを振り返っていきたいと思います。
So hopefully see you there Saturday, December 9th, 2 to 4 p.m.
はい、12月9日土曜日2時から東京コメディバーでお会いしましょう。皆さんにお会いできることを楽しみにしています。
So Marmite is not only a very popular food in the UK, not only is it delicious for me, it's also had such a cultural impact that now people use it, including French people, as an adjective to mean polarizing.
食べ物として美味しいとか、好き嫌い分かれるだけじゃなくて、文化的にとてもインパクトがあったので、今では普通に形容詞として、海外の人もフランス人の人も普通に会話で使う、あの人は癖があるとか、好き嫌いが分かれるよっていう時に使われるフレーズとしてこれだけ定着しているんだって、ルナちゃん。Hello 大きくなったね、Daddy。
Just to explain to everyone listening at home, my daughter Luna has just turned up in the bar as well. Luna, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
My little Marmite daughter. Okay.
Marmite daughter じゃないと思います。Everyone loves her だと思いますけれども。はい。
Not at 2 a.m. on a Monday. And okay.
あ、そうかそうか。朝早くから起こされるわけですね。はいはいはいはい。
So thank you very much for listening. We'll be back again soon to talk more about urawaza英語. See you next week.
はい、ということでマーマイトエピソード以上となります。はい。というか皆さんもね、どこかでマーマイトを見かけたりイギリスに行くことがあったら、マーマイトをぜひ食べてみてくださいね。裏技英語、今週も聞いてくださってどうもありがとうございました。また来週お会いしましょう。バイバイ。
Bye. Bye.
Meow, 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 meow.